From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
Welcome back to another episode of Biz Champions. I'm Steve Strum. Got a couple of really cool people here to talk about some really neat different things here. We've got Trey and Alex from Stokes Capital Management. We're going to talk to you guys a little bit about what's the difference between vertical and horizontal development. Alan Parsley, who does a lot of consulting to help businesses be the most efficient they can. And my good friend, Major Harding, who I couldn't do this without him. We're here to talk about a lot of different things that are very interestingly different, but yet similar, and how we are going to do everything we can to use this platform to give to people that may not have it. Major, take it away. What do you want to talk about first, sir?
Well, I'm very intrigued with the industrial or the infrastructure funding that y'all are working with Chester Stokes. It's really cool to, the infrastructure has to go in before the vertical construction can happen. So, it's a chicken and egg deal. And being in the industry for 40 years, I have a lot of experience dealing with that stuff, mainly public works contracting. But anyway, I'm excited to hear.
And we're excited to talk about it.
Well, let's take it to that way then. So, Alex, Trey, we were talking a little bit offset about what you guys do. And we were talking a lot about the difference between vertical development, which is buildings going up, and horizontal development, which is infrastructure going sideways in order for buildings to go up. What is the difference where you guys are doing this with the capital partners that you work with in order to be able to do horizontal development to allow vertical to happen? What's the difference, guys? Walk us through that.
Well, the difference is horizontal development is preparing the land, preparing blanks for national home builders or commercial operators to come in, and then after the fact they can take the buildings, what we call vertical. So you build out all the infrastructure so that everybody can be ready for the vertical building. And essentially it's very hard for developers, even if they have great track records, to get the funding in order to build these deals out. They're early stage deals, they come with higher risk. So since 2008, the banks are very strict on the loans they provide. And typically over the last 18 years, these loans have come from private individuals or private equity firms. And so we work with Chester Stokes, and Chester has been privately funding these deals for the last 15 or so years, and doing it very successfully with his developer partner network. So that's where we come in. We fund these developers. We give them a better lending partner than the banks would operate, and build really cool stuff with them.
So, Alex, you're the gentleman who does a lot of the front-end business development, and Trey, you're our technical expert.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit, Trey, about some of the challenges that you guys are able to overcome for your fund partners and your business development partners in order to make this happen. Jacksonville's growing, right? The size of the state of Rhode Island is a city, and if the banks aren't giving money to dirt to make it dirt that can be then having something built on top of it, what is it that some of things you guys are doing from a technical perspective to help that to become something where before that it could not happen?
Developers don't have access to loans that allow them to do this horizontal type of development because it's very risky from the bank's perspective to give loans for types of developments that may fail from a political perspective. So one of the things is that we're allowing investors to get access to a type of deal that they typically don't have access to. It's very easy to invest in a vertically integrated deal like a real estate investment trust or something, or companies that already own properties that rent. But in terms of getting investments into infrastructure where the property doesn't exist yet and instead just doing the land development itself, that's an opportunity that does not exist for most investors. There are only like a dozen or so acquisition and development focused funds in the entire country, and so we would like to use our expertise in order to give investors a different avenue for investing that they typically don't have access to.
So we're talking about raw dirt, land, trees, all the things. You guys come in there, not just clear the trees, but you're talking about electrical infrastructure, you're talking about plumbing, you're talking about all those things that allow people to be able to then put a piece of dirt on the land.
It's roads, it's electrical, it's internet, it's sewers, it's drainage, it's also things like environmental surveys, traffic studies, and even more. So yes, it's a multi-year process that goes into even being able to get the building off the ground.
And a lot of people don't realize, but half of the things that when we see a building go up, that project is already halfway done, because all the things that we're doing below the ground, which is literally the most important part of that, is things that are out there. All right, so gentlemen, very cool, very unique opportunity for people as they're listening going, wow, that I didn't realize that, it takes money to cut down trees, it takes money to put in, sewage. So Alan, Well, coming back to you. So you do a lot of work for organizations in order for them to be the most efficient they can be through your consulting services. So tell us a little bit about what it is that you do for businesses, how you're different, and where people would engage you in order for you to be able to help them be the best version of their business, human efficiency, et cetera.
Sure. Well, first of all, I feel like I have the best job in the world.
Oh, your name's on the jacket. You're on the jacket.
It's on the jacket, but that's the easy part, right? I get to travel all over the world, essentially, working with companies, helping them really transform from wherever they are to improvement and to a better space. So it's the greatest job in the world. You mentioned efficiency. It's way more than efficiency. It's more like effectiveness, and effectiveness in terms of developing an organization, preparing an organization for growth, preparing for improvement, creating a culture of continuous improvement. So those are more the things that I focus on. So it's great to go into a company and help them, because I don't go do it for them. I don't step in and say, oh, you're doing this wrong, that. No, I help them understand where their problems are. And I've had the great fortune of working with Toyota Motor Corporation for 20 years, and during that time was able to work hands-on with the Toyota Japanese trainers, and they helped me understand the Toyota way, which is different than lean. It's different than just continuous improvement. It's more of a holistic, systematic approach to running an organization, which includes respect for people and continuous improvement. So, what a great way to come into a company and help them, because my experience at Toyota was amazing. Truly amazing, because you felt that respect. You felt that entitlement, or that ability to change your process, for example, to create improvement, to create Kaizen. You mentioned Kaizen earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Kaizen is really just change for the good. So, to help an organization create a culture where everybody at every level has the expectation and the freedom to make those improvements. And, we looked at Toyota over the years and the success they've had. I was there for 20 years, and almost every quarter it was record profits. Not just revenue, but profits. So, there's a reason for that. And truly, I believe a big part of it is enabling everybody. I started out with Toyota putting bumpers on cars.
So you know Shad Khan.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So,
yes, I actually
matter
do.
of fact, right?
He made the aftermarket.
A lot of people don't realize that, as the current Jaguars owner claimed to fame was he found a better way to aftermarket a bumper.
I sat and talked with him one time about that, and about how great that was, and it was a great time to learn those systems, and he understood them like I do. It was great to have that conversation with him. So.
Well, that's amazing. And a lot of people that watch this, they may not think about it because, well, they, may not have been alive, but Toyota wasn't always that way. It wasn't always that way. They were the cheap Japanese product, and the guy, I think his last name was, Deming, came out there and showed him how to do that. That then grew to this. That then became Kaizen.
I think it's awesome that you know that, because most people don't. Toyota was a failed company.
Yes, it was. Absolutely.
And what that failure created was what we now know as the Toyota production system, or the Toyota way, because in the 1950s, they literally failed, and they had to borrow money, which was they didn't want to do that. And what they vowed at that time is there were two things they were never going to do again: is borrow money, because they didn't want to answer to anybody, and they were never going to lay anybody off. And they haven't. They've done both of those things. So, and obviously they've been successful. So.
Well, there's a lot of books that have been written about that process over the last, now that's 70, 80 years. But that's something that's been, a piece. And just so you're trying to figure out, okay, how did he know that? So academically, I have about 7 pieces of paper on my wall that say how smart I am. I'm one of a partner at a wealth management company, but I study economics. And actually, Kaizen was part of a master's thesis I did million years ago, by which they literally took the study of, well, how we take a failed company to a world-leading company. And so whether it's continuous improvement, opportunities to improve flat so we can go up, or just improving the area that you guys expertise in overall, what a cool opportunity to talk about how you think about the different things. I mean, who'd have thought we went from bumpers to buildings? But here we are. Major, you know, one of the neat parts is we have this really great platform to be able to talk about all these wonderful stories about these people, and whether it is the non-traditional financing to help Jacksonville grow, companies that are sitting there going, man, I'm a Toyota, you're a Toyota, wouldn't you like to be a Toyota too? From a quality perspective, all of these people are somehow giving back, doing some things in their business. We have an opportunity to give back. Let's take a quick minute to talk about our charity event that we're doing to help feed people that may not be able to have the opportunities with 6-8 Ministries.
So 6-8 Ministries serves the poorest of the poor children in Costa Rica and the homeless community. We feed approximately 1,000 meals a week. We have 3 ministry centers there. We provide English as a second language. So if there's 65% unemployment in Costa Rica, so if you can learn English and speak English, you can be employed. So which is a huge thing. So we do Bible classes. We do actually the homeless people are shut out of the church in Costa Rica. So we offer them worship services. We like to say worship like a crackhead. And
That's one way to do it.
yeah. So anyway, we're having our annual 6-8 fundraiser on April 25th. It's at just north of Greenbrier Road on State Road 13 on the river, 4:30 to 8 o'clock. We're got a live auction, silent auction. We've got great bourbon and barbecue. It's just a great event. We're expecting about 400 people. We'd love for you guys to join us, and it's just the way we give back. And Foodies Care is an amazing organization, which I'm on the board of also, and we provide funding to entities that are already feeding the homeless and the poor. So I'm glad to be a part of both those boards.
Well, and I appreciate you letting me tag along. So I do happen to have the opportunity to serve with Major on these organizations. So I really appreciate everybody here joining us today. What we'll do is we'll make sure to put all y'all stuff on our website, which is thedailynewsnetwork.com. Take a minute, come check us out at the Bourbon and Barbecue event. I'll provide the bourbon. He's going to cook the barbecue because you don't want it the other way around.
Yeah, beach barbecue.
You definitely don't want me doing that because I think the word salmonella might come up. I can continuously improve though. I can Kaizen in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I had to take responsibility for cooking at the house, and nobody died yet, so that's good. But you guys are great. Thank you so much for joining us, but we can't do any of this stuff without these guys right here. So, hey guys, if you love this episode, check it out, save it, share it. Come look at us on our website, which is thedailynewsnetwork.com, for all these wonderful human beings and all the things they do. But whatever you do in life, do something great for somebody else and live with gratitude.